warrant is on for Steven Stevens. He's the deranged lunatic who's running around shooting people in the Cleveland area. And the Cleveland police, showing that they are every bit as useless as you've always thought them to be, well, they could kill Tamir Rice, but they can't do anything about a guy who is telling them on Facebook Live exactly where he is. Apparently they just can't find him. The thing to remember is that I've told you this several times, the police, the enforcement arm of white supremacy, they routinely allow black people to remain in the community if they are in fact harming other black people. That's a routine tactic for them. Part of how they make sure that the black community remains in disarray. Make sure that those who are most likely to cause violence get to remain in the community. And I'm sure as far as they're concerned, this guy serves a purpose of sorts. So I don't expect the Cleveland police are going to be able to do anything about this guy. They have proven that they don't know how to do police work and can't be bothered to learn. It's broken that perhaps this guy is out of the state by now. Hell, I'm surprised that he hasn't already skipped the country as long as he's been allowed to run around. Black people need to understand that it is not harmless when you have police departments packed with white supremacists who do not do the job of actual law enforcement. Because what it means is, as I've always said, practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. Same problem that they had in South Africa after the alleged so-called end of apartheid, which was nothing more than a brief spate between apartheid 2.0. The police in South Africa can't get a handle on crime because that's not why the police were created in South Africa. They were created for the sake of making sure that black people never rose up against the Dutch occupation government. And the same thing goes for the United States. You want to know why it is that the Cleveland PD can't find this guy? Because that's not their job. Their job is to launch sneak attacks on unarmed 12-year-olds in the park. That's their job. That's what they do. That's what they specialize in. The Cleveland PD, like most police departments in America, as soon as they have a black person who's actually armed and ready, when you can't just sneak up on the guy, when you got somebody who clearly is ready for whatever, then all of a sudden the police are on their best behavior. They're scared to come around. Now, what's wrong with this picture? So a 12-year-old in the park, you can do an ambush on a 12-year-old and a child, and that's not a problem. But you got this guy who's running around killing people in the streets, and just because he's got a gun, you're terrified to come around. That's what this is really about. Either they're incompetent as hell, which means that they are a danger to your life because they cannot do the basic job of being able to control violent suspects, or what it means is that they don't care one way or the other. Either way, there needs to be a complete turnover in personnel at the Cleveland Police Department, starting with that chief coon that they got who's mismanaging things. This is an existential crisis that the people in Cleveland are facing. Not merely because there's a guy running around the streets like this, but because of the fact that they put up with this kind of dereliction of duty from their alleged law enforcement for too damn long. How the hell do you kill a child in the streets and you're willing to go to the mat for the bastards who did it, but you got a guy who's running around killing people, Facebook Live telling everybody where the hell he's at, and you guys are too terrified to come around. You're scared to go to where he is, because as far as you're concerned, oh, he's got a gun. He's got a real gun, though. He's got a real gun. Yeah, that lets you know exactly what you're dealing with. You got a bunch of white supremacists who have taken over your police department. And if they actually run into a black man who actually does have a gun, they're terrified. They're staying in their squad. Oh, forget about staying in their squad cars. They're staying in the precinct house. They're not coming out. The people of Cleveland, you're on your own. It disgusts me. It offends me. And I hope that it disgusts and offends you as well. Because no matter how this little violent episode plays out, and I think it's probably going to most likely end with this guy going out in a hail of bullets, not because the police are going to run up on him so brave, but because of the fact that they're going to find themselves in a circumstance, most likely well outside of Cleveland. This guy's blown town, I would imagine, by now. So some other police department that actually has some officers who are willing to actually at least go to the area where he's Facebook Living this time instead of sitting back going, hell no, we're not going anywhere near that place. More likely they'll be the ones who take him out because he's going to want to be. He's going to commit suicide by cop, and that'll be the end of it. But it's not going to be the end of the cowardice and the stupidity and the negligence of the Cleveland Facebook Live, but would have been some actions completely equivalent to do not think that just because you're not in Cleveland, that apparently you're far away from this guy. Don't bet on it. People thought that about John Muhammad and John Lee Malvo. It turned out these guys were on a cross-country shooting spree. You try to be safe out there. You want to make sure that you keep yourself safe. Because you damn sure can't count on the enforcement arm of white supremacy